Some of the questions that everybody asks when they want to learn how to trade is, how do I start trading if I have a full-time job? Well, the answer to that question is not usually what people want to hear because you're gonna need to make some sacrifices. I'll tell you what I mean. I will give you an example of my personal journey and how I managed to work full time and learn how to trade at the same time. And this is what I would do if I started all over again. I started to learn how to trade before the COVID pandemic and before it got so popular that everybody started working from home. I was actually lucky because working from home, it made learning how to trade a lot easier for me in a sense. So I would basically wake up at 5 a.m. every day and go to bed around 10 to 11 p.m. And with that, I was able to dedicate a solid 6 to 8 hours per day to learn how to trade. I was very committed to trading and I even bought like standing desk and one of those treadmills that go under the desk so I could get the 10,000 steps per day because I knew I was not going to have a lot of free time to even go to the gym as much as I usually did before. So that's one of the things about trading. It's very time consuming. And I think what makes it more time consuming is because it's hard to find legit content. And I spend like so many hours reading books, going on YouTube, and everything that you can think of. So the whole learning process ends up being very frustrating, and maybe because it's not like going to school to be a doctor, for example, where you know the good schools and there's a clear path to follow. For trading, you kind of have to dig and find most things on your own. Unless you know of a trading community with a whole course and a ready to trade strategy, right? But anyway, like we all know that anything of true value is difficult and it's not different with trading. Okay, so here is what I would focus on if you work full-time and wants to learn how to trade. So the first thing is to prioritize. This is not going to be what you're waiting to hear. You need to take trading seriously, but you also need to eat and pay bills. So what do you prioritize in this case? And I have to say that your job is a priority first. You don't want to mess with your job because you need that peace of mind that you have something concrete to support you and pay the bills every month. If you actually lose your job, it's going to make you more stressed out and put too much pressure on yourself. So stick to your job unless, of course, you have a ton of money saved up or you have rich parents, which was actually not my case. And then now comes your second priority, which is the trading. So you're gonna need some lifestyle changes. It's hard to say this, but you're gonna have to forget about hanging out and drinking every weekend. And also, if you're addicted to social media and you keep scrolling yourself all day or you like gaming, you're gonna have to cut that way down. In life, we will never have enough time. We actually make time for things that we make priority. So if you want to make trading work for you, you're gonna have to make room for learning and cut all of the other bullshit. You're gonna need to be very smart with your time. Like for example, the market is closed on the weekend, but you can use Saturday and Sunday to backtest and study like I did. Like I said, guys, the beginning is never fun. Have you guys heard the phrase, it's lonely at the top? It's so true because you're gonna need to separate yourself and dedicate your time to trade. The more time you give to trade, the quicker you become profitable. So since I made the commitment to learn how to trade, I had very limited time to hang out and just do nothing. But I was actually okay with that because I knew that was the plan from the beginning. I knew what it would take to get where I wanted to be, and I was willing to make the sacrifices. So our third point here is a very important part, which is time management and schedule. You'll probably need to rearrange your schedule in the beginning. The good thing about Forex is that you can trade different market sessions like New York or London, etc. So if you can rearrange your work schedule so that you can be on your computer when the market is open for at least a couple hours per day, that would be the best. You can also try to work after like a later shift, and another option is if you can work on the weekends and be off during the week for at least a couple of days, then I think you should do that. That way you could catch at least like 2 days of trading. Working part-time is also something I would recommend if you can. I know this is not possible for everybody, but if you can afford it, just do it. If you can even like move in with your parents and be part-time, that's also a great option. I know that's nobody's dream to go back to your parents' house, but like I said, you need to make some sacrifices. The goal here is to have more time and work less, but still have money to pay your bills while you're still learning how to trade. The same thing if you have a family, wife and kids, and it's gonna be harder but not impossible. I was married when I started, and you just have to make sure your partner is on the same page and you both share the same vision. This is important because you're gonna need your partner's support mentally and financially at one time or another. And because like I mentioned, you want to avoid extra stress. So our next step is set realistic goals. If you work a full shift and you have a family, you can't think that you're gonna spend like a lot of hours studying. But maybe if you can separate 2 hours per day, or even if it's only 1 hour a day without distractions, that's fine. But just do as you plan. Having a solid time to study also helps. So you can create a set time to study every day and make it a habit, so you don't even have to think about it. And if the plan is to study for 1 hour every day at 9 p.m., let's say, so then you stick to it. And that will lead me to my next advice. Whatever goal you set in your life, you gotta stay consistent and dedicated, because if you're gonna just be consistent for only 1 week out of the month, it's not gonna work. You have to stick to your plan and hold yourself accountable, because trading is a lonely game. There will be nobody to call you out. That's why the prior step of setting a realistic goal is so important, so you can stick to it. I always had this saying that you need to become a better person to become a better trader. You have to change your habits and become more responsible, consistent, like be a overachiever, rational, calm, you know. Trading itself will make you a more disciplined and better person overall. Another thing is that you need to surround yourself with everything related to trading as much as you can. You need to truly immerse yourself in the world of trading, read books, learn the history of trading. You gotta find out about the top real traders, the real ones, and how they became successful. I love to watch videos from guys like Ray Dalio. I have read a lot of very knowledgeable stuff from him, and I learned a lot, even though he's not a Forex trader. And now this is one of the most important parts. You gotta find a trading community. We have our own trading community, but we are not the only ones. There are many communities out there that you can choose from, because when you start having different perspectives, that will help you to think critically, and eventually you're gonna begin to make your own changes to your own style. Having a community will also help you, so you have a place where you can ask questions and get clarifications on specific things that might be holding you back, which will actually later save you a lot of time. And finally, you need to enjoy the process, because otherwise we will give up, trust me. You have to switch your mindset and start to think more long term, because trading takes time. So if you don't have a plan and the right mindset, you will fail. I personally believe that anyone can learn anything if they work hard for it, but at the same time, you are more likely to stick to things you enjoy. It's not gonna be easy to get home from work and have to start studying and stay up late, sacrifice your weekends. Keep in mind what's on the other side: the financial freedom, location freedom, excitement, the growth. You gotta find your why, and whatever is your why, keep that in mind and try to enjoy the process. So that's it, guys. A little bit of my journey and everything that I think you guys should know if you're trying to take this jump to become a trader. I mentioned in another video that I wish that I had a solid community back when I started, because that would have made everything so much easier. And also make sure that you're not jumping from strategy to strategy, because that's the worst thing that one can do. So I hope you start right off in the right path, so you don't waste years to find a plan that works for you. So that's it, guys. What do you think about the points I mentioned here? Please leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.